Hi there, my spiritual warriors. I'm back. Um, Before this week runs away with me, and especially after the month or so that I've had offline, I need to say that I was doing the shadow work that was required of all of us. If you look back over the last few readings before I disappeared, it was all about the shadow work and attacking and identifying the ways in which we are undermined. In my case, the shadow work was kind of like a little bit more direct, where I had inner darkness and spiritual evil basically trying to silence me and preventing me from actually doing what I'm supposed to do, which is be here for you to do the rune readings. And as part of this process of working with the shadows, it also became blatantly obvious to me that because of other commitments, in particular looking after my grandsons, which brings me absolute and undiluted joy, I'm not always able to get here every day for a daily Odin cast. So I've been guided to do a weekly rune cast instead. And the weekly rune cast is going to be, obviously, because of the content, somewhat longer than the 3 minutes which Facebook and Instagram prefer. The algorithm sort of like just really doesn't like it when you do long form videos. So moving forward, all of my long form stuff is going to be published on YouTube, and then I'll share the link to the latest YouTube post across my socials so that you don't miss out. Anyway, following the guidance that the Creator Spirit has offered for us this week, the Foundation shows that we are being called upon to shed old paths, old skins, old and outmoded ways of being, old and outmoded ways of thinking, and with all of the shedding and separation that we're being asked to do this week, we should not be surprised that if in the mix of this, some old and outgrown relationships need to be let go of as well. For some of us, this is possibly a new process. Um, if that's the case, you just need to learn, just breathe and learn to submit. While for others of us, and I have a script to stop me from rambling and keep me on track, we need to learn to retreat in strength. If we do these two things, if we just work on the cleansing and the purging that's required of us by what I've just described, there is a promise that if we let go of the ego, the I, which is the lesser good, we will be rewarded with a greater good for ourselves, although it might emerge a little bit more slowly. What brought us to this point has been our need, again, to work with the shadow side, to and this is the work that hopefully we've all been doing, learning to identify the ways in which we invite limitation and negativity into our lives, either through a lack of emotional control, self-doubt which erodes our confidence, and the outer distractions which work to undermine us in other ways and keep us out of balance. For those of us who've not been working with the shadow side of ourselves, now would be a really good time to start. Um, Start looking into those areas of self where growth is stunted, resulting in weakness. We are reminded that we need to view our troubles and denials as our teachers and guides, showing us where there is work to be done, and to do this work with goodwill and patience, with the understanding that it's only when we have corrected our relationship to ourselves and our higher selves that growth can be promoted. During the core of this week, we will find that our faith is going to be tested, as we're brought into direct contact with an aspect or element of our fate and destiny. Our challenge will be to surrender control to the unseen force of the Creator Spirit who's working in the background, lining things up for us. And as we're going to be faced with a request to make an empty-handed leap in faith into our future. We're also reminded that as spiritual warriors, we walk the path of karma, of purification, and of self transformation, and that not all opportunities are open to us. They won't always come to us exactly when we would want them, when we would like them, or in the way that we might expect. So, patience is definitely required. Many of us will have a bit of an exciting and unpredictable week ahead. Um, with that said, though, we will need to stop and reconsider and think about what is timely to our process. Um, for example, if we haven't completed all of the cleansing that we need to do, then we should not be charging ahead as the door to our new future opens, because we'll be dragging through some of the negativity that we're bringing with us. So a little bit of patience is considered there. For some, the movements and the shifts that we've been working on are merely delayed. Um, for others, the movement could be blocked, and the best of action to take, if you find your movement is blocked, to take no action at all. Just keep working on yourself. What is very clear is that what is ours will come to us when we are good and ready. So if what we've been working towards still feels a little bit blocked, or we still feel a little bit out of time, don't panic. Just breathe. Keep doing the inner work. Keep doing the shadow work. Keep doing the cleansing. Keep doing the letting go, and it will all fall into place. As the latter part of the week approaches, and this is as we get closer to the weekend, we'll need to learn to be equal with ourselves, and fund cooperation in the sphere of relationships. And this includes our relationship with our higher self and our relationship with the Creator Spirit, as well as the practical real life experiences around us. Um, the key is developing harmony and balance, on the understanding that the more equal we are with ourselves and with our higher selves and with those around us, the greater the opportunity is to be given the gift of the freedom that we need to truly be ourselves and grow into ourselves. To achieve this high level of balance, we will be provided with the inner light that we need to see the areas within ourselves that still require continued work for our healing. Many of us will be blessed with a renewed sense of clarity, and with this clarity we'll be better able to see the new path ahead. Notwithstanding, we'll still need to continue to be vigilant so that we do not allow ourselves to become entangled in situations where we are blind to the implications of those situations. And again, this is where working with the shadow side of ourselves to make sure that there's no lingering weakness that we're dragging through with us. While many of us will receive the inner light that will guide us down this new path and better way of being, we should not force the path or put the pedal to the metal and just steam on through and charge ahead. We still will have moments where we need to be still, submit, and surrender to the will of the Creator Spirit. Some of us might need to put our plans on hold, um, because essentially we still got work to do on our own inner cleansing and healing. So ridding ourselves of what is old and outgrown is a little bit like an onion process. Just as you've kind of like unpeeled the first layer of old and outgrown, you kind of like look down and discover and go, oh, poop, there's another layer that needs to go. So it is a kind of like an ongoing process. But it's very, very important to understand that new paths are opening up for us, and we need to take our steps patiently and carefully. Da, da, da. Right. So essentially, this week is also a week where, because of these new pathways and new and better ways of being are opening up for us, it is going to be important that not only do we let go, shed these skins, which I keep going on about. I'm really sorry. Um, but it's also about fine tuning ourselves to ourselves, because, as I've said, part of part of what it means to be a spiritual warrior is that we're kind of like constantly on this evolutionary path of self perfection, purification, self transformation. We're constantly evolving and morphing into a better version of ourselves. Um, and that Rome wasn't built in a day, and our perfect self was not built in a day either. So it just takes time. We need to breathe, trust the process, trust the creator spirit that he's working in the unseen on our behalf to put our best life in front of us when we're ready to receive. And the better things will come. Um, I think I'll leave that chat for another. I've just had another idea that's not on my script, so I'll leave that for another time and maybe talk to you about that later on. The overarching challenge for this week shows that we are in the grip of the impulse to discover what it to sorry. The overarching challenge of the week shows that we are in the grip of an impulse to self-realization, of becoming better, new, and improved, and a whole version of ourselves, not the little bits that sort of like scatter about. It's actually putting the jigsaw puzzle of ourselves together. We are reminded that during this process, we are likely to experience ups and downs in our energy and emotional levels and true power surges within ourselves. So it's important not to collapse into, especially the power surges. What we need to do is exercise caution, and when our energy and emotional levels are low, to retreat in strength, because what's happening here as well is not only are we regenerating and transforming um, on a deeply inner level, the creator spirit is also working with us to regenerate us right down to cell levels. So it is a full-on mind, body, and soul healing process that we're going through, and it can't be rushed. um, as part of this process, many of us will need to let the light into the secret and shut away parts of ourselves, and recognize and admit to ourselves the things that we've long denied. Above all, we have to do the right thing, um, acting with humility and being conscious. Oops. And being conscious in the recognition of our own selves, and that essentially we can't do anything of ourselves without the help and support of the creator spirit, who is in fact helping and supporting us every day, working behind the scenes to provide us with victory and success. So there is a promise that um, through this process we will achieve the objectives that we are aiming for during this time. In summary, this week is very much a week of comings and goings, where a lot of us will feel considerably frustrated over trivial things or slightly larger things that are happening in our lives. The seeming delays, the blockages, the endless need to work on ourselves and work on the stuff around us. And again, we're reminded that for all the confidence and breakthroughs that we will make this week, and the amazing glimpses that we're going to get into the path ahead and what is opening up for us, we still are surrounded by doubtful situations. Um, we're still at risk of negative events in our lives, so we need to tread with caution. Everything that we live through this week is designed to show us, teach us, and help us discover where our true needs for nourishment and fulfillment lie, and to actually help us achieve the fulfillment that we desire. So, with that, I'd like to wish you all a fantastic week. Thank you very much for bearing with me with patience over the last few weeks while I've been offline for reasons which I've already described. And I really do hope that you will come and follow me on my YouTube channel. And please do share this video. If you think you know somebody that would benefit from hearing what I've had to say this week, or the insights that I've provided as to what we're going through this week and why we're going through it, please do share. I'll be along as and when I can later this week with bit of ancient wisdom, bit of motivation, few little reminders as the week progresses, as and when time allows. These will be quite random, so keep an eye out, particularly on my Facebook, my Insta, and on my YouTube. And I will see you either next Sunday night or early Monday morning with next week's Week Ahead in the Runes. Have a fantastic week. Bye.